Really, the stock that we're now talking about is AstraZeneca.
Yeah, that's one stock that has a twist in the tail. The company's that stock is up 20% today ahead of the company's board meeting that will be held on March 5th. And in that board meeting, the board will talk about the parent's delisting offer and decide on that. Now, the parent currently holds 75% stake in AstraZeneca, whereas FIIs hold 15.5% stake in the company. Nimesh Shah joins us with all the details of how that delisting is likely to unfurl. And then we also have in studio with us JN Gupta, the former executive director of SEBI, to talk us through the twist in the tail in this AstraZeneca story. Nimesh, first over to you. Why has this delisting caught your attention?
Well, Menka, clearly just 10 months back, this company, the promoters of AstraZeneca did an OFS of 15%, bringing the stake down from 90% to 75%. Of course, they had to do this to meet the minimum public float norm from SEBI. But in that case, what is mysteriously surprising is the fact that this entire 15% block in the OFS was bought by just 6 entities. Now, those 6 entities are not even the end FIs. I was looking at the FI data. These 6 entities are all P-note holders, so we don't even know who are the actual end buyers or the end beneficiaries of this 15% lot that they've bought in the OFS. Now, even if you look at the OFS, the indicative floor price was around 490, if I remember correctly, and the offer was done at 620 rupees per share. Now, what will happen is if the Indian board approves the delisting offer, what the parent needs is now just this 15% lot to tender in the open offer for the delisting to be successful. It looks like this is going against the Fresenius Kabi way. Same thing happened in Fresenius Kabi as well. The company wanted a delisting, changed his mind to did an OFS, again came for a delisting, and eventually they won the case against SEBI as well. So in this case, though, AstraZeneca at least is compliant with the SEBI norm of they holding 75% and now looking at a delisting offer. Interesting times. We now need to see as to what price the management indicates for the delisting. But one point which a lot of analysts have been pointing out is that with this 15% held by 6 FIs, some of the minority shareholders may not have a say in actually discovering the delisting price. That's a bit of a sore point for some of the analysts who are tracking the delisting space closely. But of course, in today's state, the stock is up 20% simply because on the March 5th, the board is going to consider a delisting from the parent.
All right, Nimesh, I know we all feel very strongly about this, as does Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta, we've been through this conversation with you on the Fresenius Kabi front. I know Anuj wrote, several columns and blogs on it, very upset about the way the company had gone about doing this. I'll still tell you what SAT said in the Fresenius Kabi SEBI case. SEBI lost that case in the Securities Appellate Tribunal, and that's because SAT said you've not been able to prove anywhere that there was some great deep conspiracy going on here, where they've placed these shares with those FIIs just so that when they decide to delist, those FIIs will not negotiate too much on price, and therefore this in a sense violates the price discovery process that's put into the delisting guidelines. And I suppose that will be the argument here as well. What would you say?
See, I would say that as far as the Fresenius Kabi was concerned, SEBI lost a winning case. Rather than putting an argument of anything else, they should have said very simply that Fresenius Kabi had made OFS for an objective. And that objective was never fulfilled. And if the objective was not to be fulfilled, the Fresenius Kabi was ineligible to make OFS. So they should have delinked the delisting and OFS offer. And
in that much, this story is different because the objective was fulfilled through the OFS. So this company did come down to the prescribed 75% promoter shareholder limit, right?
So in this case, at least the two factors which were there in Fresenius Kabi are not there. One, they had complied with the public shareholding norm, and secondly, Fresenius Kabi made a delisting on a very mysterious thing that US FDA has inspected and they have said something. So that was something.
But that was mysterious to you, sir. For the company, it seems solid logic.
To me, it is not a solid logic. It was something else. But here, I would say that this indication that they're going to delisting was very much there in the market. And since I do not track their stock, so I could not see, but those people who were tracking their stock would have seen it, because on 6th May 2013, the company made an announcement to the stock exchange that promoter has agreed to give a non-repayable financial grant of approximately 140 crores. Now, which promoter is going to give a non-repayable financial grant to a company unless until the promoter owns 100%?